Foster starts off very slow in those first 3 rounds. Raymond Ford has a high chance, like a 90% chance of knocking him out in those 3 rounds if Foster's going to start off early and doesn't close it. What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today, we will be predicting this weekend's main event for boxing for the WBC Super Featherweight title. O'Shaquie Foster versus Raymond Ford. Now, listen, I like this fight a lot. You got 2 very good fighters. You got O'Shaquie Foster, who's I would say a dominant fighter, who's a very good fighter for the 130 division, and Raymond Ford, who's a very good fighter and can fight. But in today's video, we will be going over the styles of each fighter, the strengths and the weaknesses of each fighter. I'm gonna tell you guys how I see this fight playing out and predict who I got for this fight. But without any further ado, let's get into the video. Alright. So first we got up here O'Shaquie Foster style. The style of O'Shaquie Foster is he has very good elite timing with very good defensive awareness. Having very good awareness and very good timing with the punches is 2 very good things, and something I really think you should need when it comes to being a boxer. When you're a boxer, I feel like you gotta have very good timing. If your timing's not that good, I wouldn't necessarily say you wouldn't turn out good, but it'll definitely be kind of a struggle for you. And another thing, he's a counter puncher, and that comes very good when it comes to the timing, his timing and his counter punching. And even though he may not knock you out, he will catch you off guard, and it would have fighters think twice before they make a bad decision. Next up, he also has very good ring IQ with long-range boxing. He's a tall fighter, so he uses long range and has very good fight IQ. Him using his long range and his fight IQ helped him dominate Stephen Fulton in Foster's last fight. Now, also, he's a very good body puncher. He catches you off guard with his body shots that affect people very much, and these split decision wins that he's having, that's what slightly helps to win this fight because of those body shots that he has. And also, he's very composure when under pressure in the fight. But his biggest strengths are his timing and accuracy. Those 2 things come together because he has such good accuracy and such good timing that, like, majority of the time, you won't catch him throwing a sloppy punch. And majority of the time, his punches do hit. Sometimes they will dodge, but it's not like those sloppy punches that they can't see. It's just them seeing the accurate punch and the swooping. That's what's just the good things about O'Shaquie Foster. Now, another thing is his defense and his fight IQ. Another 2 things that come together in this fight. His fight IQ and like I said, his defense. He has very good defense. I'm not saying he fights like him, but kind of like when Floyd Mayweather's fighting. Floyd Mayweather was a very good defense fighter, and that's what O'Shaquie Foster is. Like I said, 2 different styles, 2 different types of defense, but like I said, these guys just have very good defense and they don't get hit as much. And lastly, he's very good at staying calm in these close rounds. You can have him in these close rounds. Eventually, he'll stay calm and not get too over pressure for them to lose the round. He's still gonna try and throw punches at you. Now, his weaknesses, sometimes he starts slow, which could be bad, especially for the division that we're in, where there's a lot of counter punchers, a lot of pressured fighters. And Raymond Ford happens to be, even though he's also a technical fighter too, he's also a pressure fighter trying to move forward at you. And Raymond Ford is the shorter fighter in this fight, if I'm not mistaken, so he's going to try and get close to O'Shaquie Foster. That may be a bad start for O'Shaquie Foster. Next up, sometimes he does have a low punch output, and that's something you don't want to have in this fight with Raymond Ford. That's how Nick Ball managed to beat it, because Nick Ball had a high punch output, and that cured him to win. Even that fight where he fought a guy Obek or something like that, where he won the title at 126. That guy had a very good high punch output. Majority of his opponents are going to try their best to have a high punch output. But O'Shaquie Foster starts off slow, has a low output at the beginning of the rounds. Those first 3 rounds could definitely affect O'Shaquie Foster a lot. Sometimes he gets pressured when he faces fighters who throw non-stop, and that can make the fight very difficult for Foster. And sometimes Ford does throw non-stop, which could be very stupid of Raymond Ford, but that could affect Shaquille Foster in the beginning of the round too. But overall, he has been one of the most skilled pure boxers at super featherweight, not of all time. As of today, one of the most skilled fighters at 130 today. Style of Raymond Ford. His stance is a southpaw, and he's a fast combination. Throws a lot of fast combinations, which is one thing that could definitely cure his victory in this fight with O'Shaquie Foster. Now he has athletic footwork. His footwork is very nice. Alongside, he has explosive counters. He's a counter puncher, but he's got to be one of the most explosive counter punchers I've seen so far. As of today. Because a lot of counter punchers, when you're a counter puncher, majority of the time you're kind of focusing on technique to set up those counters. But he does that too. But sometimes he's like hush, hush, hush. Where sometimes you don't even see the punches landing. It's just very fast. It's just very fast and explosive. He also is a very good body puncher. I wouldn't be surprised. These guys are just trading shots in the body. I wouldn't be surprised if they come to that. And he's very good when it comes to switching gear. When it comes to him getting stunned, when he stuns his opponent. Because sometimes when you stun your opponent, you try to go for the kill. But sometimes they could be faking, so he still has that technical base, still going forward, but making sure his chin's low and he still understands and is still in a good position, so where he won't possibly get knocked out. And he also has very good hand speed. His hand speed is very powerful. It is very good. I think that's a thing that can help him in this fight. Now, the biggest strengths of Raymond Ford is his speed, his athleticism, his counterpunching, his offensive variety. Those are all things come together. That's what makes him such a good fighter, and that's what makes him a guy who can fight and give anyone good competition. Now, the weakness of Raymond Ford is that sometimes he gets drawn into unnecessary exchanges, mainly positions. Like if you look at his fight where he won the title, he was a majority of the time in these unnecessary positions. Because mind you, he lost majority of the fight. Ended up getting a knockout. And no, it was not luck. There's no such thing as luck, guys. You're throwing it's not like you're in a store. You're throwing punches, setting it up. So you're not technically getting lucky. That's what some people like to use it as for, but it's not necessarily luck. But yeah, he also can rely on his athleticism and his defense more than his actual footwork. Sometimes he forget he has such good footwork because he focuses on his hand speed and his defense. I get it, but sometimes he just kind of forgets how good of his footwork really is, and that can be a problem in this fight with O'Shaquie Foster. And those are mainly the weaknesses of him. And also, when aggressive pressure fighters when fighters who pressure a lot, they can test Raymond Ford to see how good his footwork really is. And sometimes he just tries to stand and bang with them, which obviously I think is going to be a close fight. But Foster's not going to stand and bang with this guy. If Foster stands and bangs with this guy, that will be a stupid decision for him to make. He will most likely get knocked out in that case. But overall, Ford is a high-skilled, modern boxer, a very good puncher with the talent to outbox opponents or break them down with speed and sharp combinations. That's how good Raymond Ford is. Now, my prediction and how I see this playing out. So how I see this playing out. Listen, I see the first two rounds being a very hard struggle for Foster. And listen, anything could happen in those 3 rounds. In those first 3 rounds of the fight. If Foster starts off very slow in those first 3 rounds, Raymond Ford has a high chance, like a 90% chance of knocking him out in those 3 rounds if Foster's going to start off early and doesn't close the distance. But if he does, start off slow and keeps the distance, that it won't be probably as much of a struggle. It still will be a struggle for him. But after those 3 rounds, I see Foster starting up to pick up the pace and start making this fight a very close fight. But, those first 3 rounds can change the entire fight, because sometimes when there's a close fight on the scorecards, that can hurt Foster a lot, just depending on how the judges see it, because you know how judges are nowadays, and we saw that last week against Usyk and Rico. So just know how judges be. Foster needs to make this, I think, at least as dominant as possible for him. But, hey, these guys can both dominate this fight. Like I said, Raymond Ford has the talent to outbox anybody. I can see him outboxing Shaquille Foster in this fight. I can see Foster outboxing Raymond Ford in this fight. But now, who do I got winning this fight? I'm going with Shaquille Foster by a split decision. Listen, anybody, if you guys say Raymond Ford is going to win, I'm not going to disagree with you on that. This is a 50-50 fight. It can go either way. But now, that will be the end of the video, y'all. Make sure y'all hit that like, subscribe button. Turn on notifications when you guys want to see what I upload. Make sure y'all share this video with your friends. And thank y'all for 99 subscribers. We're 1 more away from 100 subscribers. So make sure you guys hit that like, subscribe button so we can get to 100 subscribers. I appreciate all y'all subscribing. And I'll see y'all in the next one. I'm out. Peace.